Welcome to This Explainer. So, if you're setting your sights on the magnificent temples of Angkor Wat, or maybe the bustling streets of Phnom Penh, well, there's something you absolutely need to know before you pack your bags. Cambodia is rapidly modernizing its immigration process, and for 2026, the landscape has completely shifted. Over the last few years, they've been working tirelessly to overhaul their entry systems. They're pivoting away from that old-school paperwork to a highly streamlined digital experience. It's designed to be faster and way easier, meaning your vacation actually starts the moment you land, not, an hour later in some stuffy immigration queue. But as with any major system upgrade, the rules of the game have definitely changed. And that brings us to a really critical trap warning. While the new digital system undeniably speeds up your actual entry at the border, it is incredibly perilous for anyone who arrives unprepared. With these massive improvements come strictly enforced checks. The days of casually filling out a crinkled paper form on the airplane with a borrowed pen that barely works, those days are completely over. The new digital forms are rigid, the rules are much clearer, and authorities absolutely expect travelers to follow them to the letter. If you simply assume the process is the exact same as it was, say, 5 years ago, you're going to run into some serious friction.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover the 2026 digital update, choosing your visa path, applying step-by-step, special rules and exemptions, and finally, arriving and extending your stay.
All right, Section 1, the 2026 digital update, stricter checks for modern travelers. If you've traveled to Cambodia in the past, you might remember a somewhat lenient, paper-heavy process at the border. Well, not anymore. The 2026 update has swept most of that away to improve security and efficiency. Now, when you upload your information to the new system, your passport details must match exactly, literally character for character. Plus, the quality of the photo you upload is now strictly checked. If you upload a sloppy, poorly lit selfie or even just make a simple typo, the computer will reject you without a second thought. And the real kicker? You'll be trapped into paying those reapplication fees all over again. So the system is incredibly efficient now, but it absolutely does not forgive typos.
Moving right along to Section 2, choosing your visa path, finding the right entry for your trip.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that once you understand how strict the new system is, your very first practical step is choosing your path. It basically comes down to convenience versus saving a few extra dollars. First up, we have the highly recommended Cambodia eVisa. You apply entirely online before you travel. It costs between $36 and $42, takes about 3 working days to process, and crucially, you get to skip the visa queues at the airport entirely. On the flip side, we have the traditional visa on arrival. It saves you a few bucks, sitting between $30 and $35, but you have to apply right there at the airport or border. That can easily eat up 15 to 45 minutes of your precious vacation time standing in a queue. Plus, you absolutely must bring a physical passport photo and pay in physical US dollar cash. Forget that photo, and you can expect a surcharge right on the spot. Let's get into the details in Section 3, applying step-by-step, securing your entry smoothly. And this brilliantly illustrates how simple the online process has become. For the vast majority of travelers, that eVisa is absolutely the way to go to avoid those airport bottlenecks. The official online portal makes the application beautifully simple in just 3 steps. Step 1, you head to the official eVisa portal, enter a quick security CAPTCHA, and just hit Apply Now. Step 2 is where the magic really happens. You actually scan your passport, and the system automatically extracts your photo and details. In this exact same step, you'll also upload a copy of your hotel reservation and onward flight booking. Finally, in Step 3, you carefully review everything, remembering those strict typo rules we just talked about, make your payment, and within 2 working days, check back for your approved status. The final visa will actually be emailed to you within roughly 3 business days. Now, whether you choose the online eVisa or the visa on arrival, there are some fundamental, non-negotiable requirements you just cannot ignore. First, your passport must be valid for at least 6 months from your date of entry. Do not overlook this one. You also need 1 or 2 recent color passport photos sized 4 by 6 centimeters. You must have proof of your accommodation, like a hotel booking, plus a return or onward flight ticket to prove you aren't just staying indefinitely. And finally, if you're paying for anything at the border, the visa fee is payable in US dollars only. But here is a huge word to the wise. Always carry pristine, crisp, undamaged bills. Seriously, a tiny tear or even a heavy crease could get your cash rejected right at the counter. Okay, I really need your full attention on this number. 7. This represents the absolute biggest 2026 trop for travelers heading to Cambodia. You could literally have your perfect eVisa approved, your pristine US dollars right in your wallet, and your gorgeous hotel booked, but if you forget the action associated with this number, you are going to be in deep trouble at the border.
So what does this all mean? This is the Cambodia e-arrival card, or CA for short. It completely replaces all those old paper immigration, customs, and health cards. When you fill it out, it generates a QR code for much faster entry. But here is the massive catch. It must be completed within 7 days before your arrival if you're traveling by air. Even with a golden, fully approved visa in your passport, failing to generate this new mandatory QR code will literally halt your entry right at the border. You have to do both. Get your visa and within 7 days of your flight, submit this e-arrival card.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds special rules and exemptions, ASEAN rules, and the new pilot program.
Now, let's talk about some exceptions, because not everyone actually needs to go through that full visa process. Depending on the passport you hold, you might be able to save yourself a good chunk of both time and money. For instance, if you hold a passport from an ASEAN country, you are in luck. Specifically, Singaporean citizens enjoy entirely visa-free entry for stays of up to 30 days. No fees, no online visa forms to fill out. You simply need that 6-month valid passport, your proof of onward travel, and you can literally just walk right through immigration. Just remember, you still need to do the e-arrival card, but the visa itself completely waived. There's also a major temporary pilot initiative in 2026 that we need to cover. Cambodia's Ministry of Tourism has announced a visa-free pilot program specifically designed for Chinese nationals during the peak green season. From June 15th through October 15th, 2026, eligible travelers, which includes passport holders of the People's Republic of China, Hong Kong, and Macau, though Taiwan is excluded, can visit entirely visa-free. Those eligible can stay for a maximum of 14 days per visit. And just like we mentioned earlier, these travelers are still absolutely required to complete the digital e-arrival card. The authorities are really hoping this will attract up to 1 million visitors to support tourism recovery, and if it's successful, they might even consider making it permanent in 2027.
Finally, Section 5, Arriving and Extending, Landing Smoothly and Staying Longer.
Okay, so you have your visa sorted, your e-arrival card QR code is ready on your phone, and you've finally landed smoothly. But what if a few weeks simply isn't enough time? Cambodia is an incredibly captivating country, and extending your stay is actually very accessible. If you entered on a standard tourist visa, which is known as a T-class visa, you're allowed to extend it exactly once for an additional 30 days. Now, if you're there for work or a long-term stay on a business visa or E-class, you have much more flexibility, with extensions available for 3, 6, or even 12 months. These extensions can be processed directly at the Immigration Department in Phnom Penh, or, you can easily just use authorized travel agencies to handle all that paperwork for you.
So, the crucial point is, do not let that visa expire without extending it. This brings us to our final, highly important number, 10. If you lose track of time and overstay your visa stamp date, Cambodia enforces a strict fine of $10 for every single day you remain in the country illegally. And honestly, that's just the start. Longer overstays can actually result in heavy fines, detention, or even being blacklisted from returning to the country entirely. So always double-check your visa stamp date the very moment you get it. And there you have it. The Cambodian entry process has completely evolved, shedding its old paper layers for a much faster, cleaner digital system. Yes, it demands a bit more precision from you before you fly, especially making absolutely sure that your passport details are perfectly matched and that your mandatory e-arrival card is filled out within 7 days of your trip. But as long as you follow these straightforward rules, the process is incredibly smooth, leaving you totally free to explore the stunning ruins, the vibrant capital, and the relaxing beaches. So, with the new digital entry systems fully decoded, the only question left is, are you ready for your 2026 Cambodian adventure?